How many of you guys out there play video games or have played video games? You can raise them high, don't be shy. All right, how many of you have ever watched someone playing a video game? How many of you think it's absolutely crazy to watch somebody playing a video game? Okay, you're not alone. So 2 years ago, Amazon actually acquired Twitch for just under $1 billion. So it was the biggest acquisition at the time behind, anyone know what company? Yell it out. Shoes, Zappos, there you go. So it just gives you an idea of how big of a platform is and what it means to Amazon. It's now been moved to third after the acquisition of Whole Foods earlier last week. So what is happening on Twitch? So Twitch is a live video streaming platform where people come to essentially watch other people play video games is how it got its start. And then we're watching more now where people are watching esports and people playing competitive gaming against one another. And then we've also just started to recently get more into other different content verticals. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but we recently streamed a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, 886 episodes. And the idea behind it is just to bring together a community of people around a passion and to watch live streaming content as it happens. So there we go. So again, you can see right here, this is kind of what you're gonna see when you go onto Twitch. So you'll see the streamer, he's playing the game, there's the chat functionality on the right. And why Twitch is so important in the gaming space is it's just this, it's a community and they rally behind things that they love and they're passionate about things that they love. So about 10 million daily active users who are spending 2 hours each day on Twitch. So just think about that in the context of what you do every day in your life for 2 hours. I don't do anything except go to work for 2 hours. So we have an immense amount of engagement. We're number 2 behind Netflix for video minutes watched per user each month. So just to give you a sense of how much time people are actually spending on Twitch, it's absolutely insane. And the opportunities for brands are to create custom content that our audience just eats up, literally in the case of Totinos. So Totinos came to us and they said that their core buyer, moms, was on the decline. Their children were moving out of the house. They were no longer buying Totinos. And the marketing was directed to the moms who were no longer buying Totinos as much. So they came to us and they said, we want to reach these new adults as they are now have the purchasing power, they're buying groceries, and we feel that if we can align with them and speak to them in their tone and reach them on their turf, then in turn, they're gonna buy pizza rolls for themselves. So how did we all accomplish this? So 72 and Sunny, Totino's creative agency, came up with this unbelievable slogan, live free, couch hard. It's kind of my life mantra, actually. And what it was they said, we want to celebrate the couch, which is just what millennial males really are all about, right? They want to celebrate the binge watcher and the people that are playing video games and the sense of humor that comes with all of this. And they had done extensive research to really hone in on where they wanted to reach these guys. But they said to Twitch, you guys understand the millennial male best. What can we do to really make an impact? How can we speak to them in a way that resonates with them and that is authentic to Twitch as a platform and is authentic to the way that millennial males want to be reached? And I think John earlier from Conagra really touched on it. He said, we want to speak as authentic to these consumers as possible, and it's not so much about the impressions, but how much engagement that we can drive with them. So what we did was we went back to our team, we came up with a year-long strategy, which included esports sponsorships. So you guys familiar with esports? It's kind of all the rage right now. It's competitive gameplay. So we created esports sponsorships and custom tournaments. We did a series of influencer streams that highlighted new game releases. So every Tuesday on Twitch, we see an influx of traffic as there's new game releases. So they wanted to really center and tentpole these live influencer streams around that. And then each of these streams was focused on the couch, pizza rolls, and driving an interaction with this community so that they could then in turn recognize how much of a part of gaming culture Totinos have become, and therefore hopefully buy some Totinos pizza rolls. So here's a video just to show you guys really like bring
to show off their new and improved
everything
branding.
to life.
Totinos partnered with Twitch with one objective: to stake a claim in the biggest cultural moments of gaming. Totinos began with the sponsorship of the first ever esports championship series, a series of 5 tournaments including Capcom Pro Tour, ESL One New York, Hearthstone World Championship, and Heroes of the Storm Road to BlizzCon. Totino's integration was so well accepted by the community that chat began to incorporate Totino's terms to comment on the game. Totinos then celebrated 3 major game launches with unique custom programs that took the Twitch audience by storm. The first activation was around the launch of FIFA 16. Contestants had
See
the
the live
chance
pizza
to put their
roll
FIFA
cam
skills
here,
to the
which is
test
showing everyone
against
who was
4
eating
influencers
pizza rolls
and
as
2
they
FIFA
went.
pros for a $10,000 prize. The first challenger proved he could couch hard, sending influencers to the bench 9 times in a row, taking home the grand prize.
Tough red card. Absolute good game, bro.
The chat went wild, eventually rooting for this unknown FIFA hero. To immerse within the rich culture of Mario, Totinos created the first ever Mario Maker activation, where Twitch viewers were asked to submit their biggest, baddest levels to try and stunt the Nintendo Pro games. The final influencer, a Nintendo Pro, was so challenged he refused to leave the set until he completed the level.
We're gonna roll out.
Finally, to take part in the launch of the coveted Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Totinos hosted the Call of Duty Invitational, the first tournament of its kind that had 8 of the top professional Call of Duty teams compete for a $50,000 grand prize. With great production, top teams, and seamless brand integration, the Totinos Call of Duty Invitational became one of the most successful custom programs in Twitch history.
This is Pizza Roll, their emoji emote on Twitch. It's become kind of a mascot and a face of Totinos on Twitch. So that just gives you a sense. They really focused in, they established their strategy early. They wanted to just use simple techniques that work on Twitch to get in with this audience and to become a part of gaming culture. And they did just an incredible job of it. But like anyone, they wanted the never been done before and the bigger idea. So 72 and Sunny, again, came up with this idea and they called us and they said, hey guys, like we want to go bigger on Twitch. Okay, what does that mean? We have a bucking couch. All right, well, what's a bucking couch? Oh, you guys don't know what a bucking couch is? It is a couch that sits on top of a mechanical bull that they were gonna bring around to different events around the country to really hone in on this live free die hard, or live free couch hard, I'm sorry. So what they did was they said, what can you guys do to activate against this on Twitch? So we went back to our research and insights team and we put our heads together and we saw that every Super Bowl Sunday, there was about a 10 to 15% spike in viewership leading up to the big game, which is kind of counterintuitive. Everyone thinks they're getting ready for the Super Bowl, but we actually see a spike in it. So you got the Super Bowl, you got pizza rolls, kind of perfect. So we came up with the idea for the Bucking Couch Bowl. And what this was it's going to be a 3.5-hour event leading up to the Super Bowl. And we were going to bring in our biggest influencers. So if anyone's familiar with Twitch or gamers, we had Tim the Tap Man, Summit 1G, Gold Glove, Jericho. These guys are loved. They have millions of followers on Twitch, and they're huge. We brought in Pizza Roll, a live action pizza roll that was a mascot who was dancing around and having fun. And then the whole idea of it was, okay, well, what can we do with this Twitch audience? So we had the Bucking Couch. These guys were going to play each other in competitive gameplay in Rocket League and a few other games. So Rocket League is a huge game on Twitch, and it's 2 RC cars that are playing each other in soccer. It's one of those games that you pick it up and you're immediately addicted. So I would tread lightly if you guys have a gaming system at home. But they put the influencers on top of this Bucking Couch, and then Twitch chat could actually control what was happening on the couch. So it could buck them off, it could pivot, it could spin, and it was just this incredible interactive experience between these influencers and Totinos and the viewers, and it was a blast, it was hilarious. And here's a video.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is time. It's the Totinos Bucking Couch Bowl. We're playing games on the Totinos Bucking Couch. Rocket League, Star Wall, chat. You are the ones who are going to be making all the voting for this. You're going to see on screen the ability to vote for various things that the couch does and special disruptors. This thing can vibrate, pivot, tilt, go up and down.
So probably something you guys haven't seen before in brand advertising or marketing, but it was a huge success. The Wall Street Journal picked it up, Digiday picked it up. It saw 1.7 million minutes of video being watched of it, and there were 150,000 chat commands that were sent to the couch, and then there were 35,000 of the Pete Zarol emotes that were used during the course of the chat. So it was just unbelievably successful. It was hilarious, and it really just kind of put Totino's stamp on not just on Twitch, but just the gaming culture and this community. And so since then, they've had a continued presence on Twitch. They align a lot of what they do with these new game releases. And then Pizza Roll has been used over 1 million times, the emote on Twitch. So much so that we put our heads together again with Mindshare and with Totinos and with 72 and Sunny. We're like, how can we humanize Pizza Roll on Twitch? So he has now become the moderator for all of Twitch chat, and he'll sit in there and he'll troll on people and goof on people, and it's one of the brand managers over at General Mills who really understands gaming, and he can just speak to this culture and interact with them in a way that just brings the brand to life even more on Twitch. So I keep saying it, but they just cemented themselves as understanding gaming culture. And over the 2.5 years that we've worked with them, they've done pretty much everything from esports sponsorships to these live influencer streams, custom commercials. They've done some on-site stuff, which I didn't talk about, but they've had an experiential presence at PAX, which is these Penny Arcade Expos that are gaming conventions that take place across the country. TwitchCon, which is our owned and operated event out of California, where we teach people how to become better streamers. About 25,000 people attend yearly, so it's a huge event. And they've just, I think the key takeaway is, if you speak to this community who is passionate and you get behind them and you show support for something that they love, they in turn will support it. And Totinos has shared with us that their shift in strategy to millennial males has actually helped to increase their sales of, just including the bucking couch and what we've done with them in their overall millennial male strategy. And I think one of the funniest things is we had Evo, which is a esports tournament that happens, and Totinos was completely dark with their advertising on Twitch, but we saw that people started walking in with these Totinos signs and were cheering for Totinos. So again, John was talking about it earlier with Conagra, but if you can get people to be these ambassadors for your brand and these influencers for your brand, and you're not even paying them, then there's really nothing better than that. And I think it's not much more you can say as a brand to know that you've made it than when your sign is just getting hoisted next to Carlton from Fresh Prince. It's just amazing. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate being here, and let me know if you have any questions.